Hello friends, welcome to the Trading Temple channel. Today we're going to analyze two coins and see what they're planning to do in the short term. The first coin we're going to analyze is coin C. As you can see on the chart, the second coin we'll be analyzing is Aptos. Let's start with this coin for now. As you can see, we were inside a pennant chart pattern that broke downward a few days ago, and it has tested this downward trend line several times. See how beautifully it broke through this trend line and hit it several times. It couldn't go above it, but with the recent move that Bitcoin has had in the past few days, it finally managed to get above this trend line. Now it has filled the gaps that were created in this area. Things have gotten a bit risky now, because in this area we have a resistance, a short-term resistance, and as long as the price stays below this area, we might see another pullback. Because this area is a very heavy zone, and on the daily time frame we can see the 50-day and 100-day moving averages here, which are creating obstacles for the price, and so far the price hasn't been able to break through this area. With the candlestick that has formed today, this candlestick isn't very promising. There are still several hours left until this candlestick closes. But if this candlestick ends up looking a lot like this one here, these types of candlesticks are called shooting stars. And if such candlesticks close near resistance, it's really not good. We have to see how it closes by the end of the day. It's possible that the price might have a bit of a pullback here, move down a little, and then go up again on the lower time frames. And what's important for this coin is that on the daily time frame, it breaks through this trend line in this area. We're still not 100% bullish yet. For now, we're about 20 or 30% bullish on this, because on the other hand, the MACD for this coin is slowly turning green, which shows that bullish momentum might return. But we don't have a very large volume, like in this part, where you can see the price had gone up sharply. We had a very high volume, but in this part the volume is very low. There still isn't much interest in this coin yet. And you can also see that on the RSI, we're below a very strong trend line. And I think as long as this trend line on the RSI isn't broken, the price might stay around these levels. What's important is that, in my opinion, for us to be completely bullish, first this short-term resistance here needs to be broken, and then it can move higher. And after this trend line has been tested 4 times and hasn't been able to break through, it needs to finally break it and move up. In the next round, if it manages to break through these areas, I think the price could go up to 50 cents and reach this long-term trend line, which is a very strong trend line. Also, in this area, we have a very significant resistance around 50 cents. If it reaches this area and breaks through these levels, in the next phase, it could even go up to 70 cents. But for now, what's important is that in this area, we need to break through the first level. This is a short-term resistance that has currently filled the gap and broken this trend line upwards. In this area, we have the 50-day and 100-day moving averages, which are causing some resistance. And in the next phase, this trend line and this resistance need to be broken. For now, we need to see what happens in the next few days. At the moment, Bitcoin has become almost bullish. It has gone up quite well and might also give a bit of a boost to the altcoins. The altcoins might also start to move a bit themselves. Now let's switch to the Aptos chart and see what Aptos is doing. Aptos managed to make a very nice bounce, really beautifully. In the past few days, it has gone up very well. It was at its last support level, and with this bounce, it has gone up nearly 30% in 5 days. It was really a very good move. We talked a lot about this support. We said this is Aptos's last support, and this support needs to hold. If it had broken, it would have gone down. It would have become much more difficult, but it managed to hold this support. What matters now is that we have a trend line here that Aptos hasn't been able to break for almost 10 months. It's hit it twice here, 3 times, 4 times. This is the 5th time it's hitting this trend line and still hasn't managed to break through. It's gone up quite a bit, so let's see what happens in the next few days. Our next target for Aptos, if it manages to break this trend line, and if the market is really good and bullish, is that Aptos could reach a price of $9.5 to $11 within a few weeks. And what we're seeing here is that Aptos, after 10 months, has finally managed. If you look here, when it broke below the 200-day moving average, it hadn't been able to break above it until now. But yesterday and today, it has pretty much managed to break above the 200-day moving average. It has also broken above the 50-day and 100-day moving averages and is moving upward. Since the momentum has been very bullish and the candles have been very light to the upside, it might have a pullback. Aptos might form a flag pattern in this area. If we switch to the 4-hour time frame, we can say that the price might form a small flag, consolidate here for a bit, drop down, and then break out in the next move. Why are our targets for the next move $9.50 and $11 if it breaks above this trend line? Because in this area, we can clearly identify the target. If we draw a line from the highest point to the lowest point, we can use this line to measure the price when it breaks out. Even if it happens right here, it can easily take us to $9.50 to $11. And in this area, Aptos has a very strong resistance. In this area, the resistance is strong, and there's also a long-term trend line here, which I think will cause the price to get rejected, most likely. For now, what's important is that we need to break through this initial trend line. We need to break through the short-term trend line as well, and Aptos also has another short-term resistance in this area. These areas, especially this blue box that I've drawn here, are very important, and I think there's a chance that Aptos will have a pullback in this area. As I mentioned, after breaking the trend line, it might also do a back test on the trend line before it can continue its next move. For now, Aptos is in a very good condition. Just as we drew on the RSI, it's moving upward along a trend line. We clearly had a divergence and it has shown itself very well, going up by about 30% in just 5 days. If the crypto market conditions continue like this, there's a chance that Aptos could have a strong upward move. That was today's video about these two coins. I'd be happy if you like and subscribe. And don't forget, trading is never 100% certain and everything is based on probability. And I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Until the next video, goodbye.